I don't even know. I probably emptied my mag because that's what I'm trained to do, right? I just boom, 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 boom.
On November 24th, 2021, just after 10:30 p.m., police dispatch in Aurora was flooded with multiple 911 calls. The reports are chaotic, mentioning several gunshots and a victim on the ground. Ring camera footage will later uncover the horrifying truth of what happened that fateful night.
You kidding me? Is that Jacob? No, that's Peyton. Get the fuck inside. Call the fuck. You kidding me?
And at the center of this tragic moment, it was a police officer.
You realize there's grainy video that captures the whole thing. The whole thing's on video.
What follows next is one of the most despicable cases of people who are supposed to do good, doing evil, I've ever witnessed.
Right before the shooting happened, somebody says the N-word. You remember who says that?
It definitely wasn't me.
On that same night, the quiet of Thanksgiving Eve in Aurora, Colorado was shattered. Ring camera footage captured 36-year-old retired police officer Adam Holen confronting 17-year-old Peyton Blitstein and his friends after he had repeatedly seen them speeding through the neighborhood, a neighborhood he claimed to own. Adam would later say he only meant to speak with a parent about this issue, but the video tells another story. After arguing, he then opened fire, hitting the teenager multiple times. Peyton's family rushed toward him in panic and horror, but it was already far too late.
Bro.
Soon, officers arrived, their body cameras capturing the first moments of the aftermath.
No airway?
Hey.
Keep going.
Who got shot?
1, 2, 3,
Who else?
4, 5. I did in my
shot
leg.
him?
There, on the street, we see Adam Holen, a gunshot wound to his own hip, but his focus is elsewhere. He is performing CPR on a figure lying on the ground. This is 17-year-old Peyton Blitstein. As the perpetrator, Adam's cooperation is surprisingly immediate and total.
You, step over there. Did you shoot someone?
Yes, ma'am. I have a pistol. I have a pistol on my hip.
We have officers
here on site.
That's fine.
Thank you.
911, we have officer sight. Yes. We have officers here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
What the?
Where's the... Is your gun still on you, sir?
Yeah, it's right here on my hip.
Hands up.
My hands are up.
Thank you.
My hands are up on my hip. You want to grab it, ma'am?
Yeah, you're good, sir. There's Sarge, will
Come
you?
grab my pistol. It's in my hip right here.
He's right there. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to take over for you. Okay?
I used to be an officer. You got it.
He surrenders his firearm without hesitation. It's a performance of a man who knows the drill, a man trying to establish from the very first second that he is on the same side as the responding officers. As paramedics rush to aid Peyton, Adam's concern seems to amplify. He urges them to focus on the teen, repeatedly insisting he's good, referring to his own injury.
Okay.
And then, other than the right cheek, you shot anywhere?
I shot him right here. I went straight through my whole side. It hurts, man. I'm all right. Work on him, please. Please work on that guy.
Cut from him, and then you can fall down to.
I don't care. I'm good. I'm good, man. Work on that guy. Please help him.
They're working it, man.
As the paramedics attempt to revive Peyton, the officers on scene turn to the man who shot him as they need to understand what happened, and Adam is quite ready to tell them.
All right, so
Thanks, Manny.
So this car's been racing through our neighborhood, man, non-stop. I've seen him during the day, I've seen him at night, just racing through. And so I confronted him, and I was like, why the fuck are you racing? And so this girl gets out of the driver's seat, and she runs up there. And she's like, why the f*** are you stopping me? Why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, you're racing through my neighborhood. I was like, I don't care if you're like, just slow down. I don't care.
He's shot.
So out of nowhere, 3 dudes get out of the car and they surround me. And I'm like, oh shit, shit's about to get real. And so, I mean, I'm obviously trained. I used to be a cop with Greenwood Village. I just retired like a week ago. And so I knew shit was about to go down. So I had my pistol at the low ready. And I was like, if shit goes down, I'm ready. This dude pulls the pistol to nowhere and just shoots me. And so I just opened fired with my pistol that I had on me.
Adam immediately leans on his identity as a former cop, establishing his training, his familiarity with protocol. But then, he delivers a chilling detail with stunning casualness.
I have a Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm, and I don't even know. I probably emptied my mag, because that's what I'm trained to do, right? I just boom, 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 boom.
Shockingly, Adam describes this volley of fire not with guilt or shame, but with the clinical detachment of an after-action report. He then effortlessly shifts into a performance of shock and disbelief, as if the entire violent sequence had happened to him.
You had your pistol out before he had his pistol out?
Holy shit. I had my pistol at low ready because all 3 dudes jump out of this car and they're all flexing on me. And I pull my pistol in at low ready. They didn't even see it. And I just had it at low ready, which I've done plenty of times on traffic stops. I just have my pistol. I never know.
Right.
This dude comes out, presents his pistol at me, and I'm like, oh. I had my pistol at my side. Oh my God. He just raises it and shoots me. As soon as I got hit and he fires that shot, I just emptied my rounds on him.
Which one shot you?
What's that?
One shot you.
He shot me right there.
Yeah? Okay.
So he shoots me and I just, oh my God.
Where'd everyone else go?
Holy shit, they all went into this house. There was like 6 of them.
3 others in the car.
All right.
There was a female and at least 3 other males besides him that went in that house right there.
Okay.
Holy shit.
You said that there's
Wow.
a total of
Holy
3
shit.
outside.
All right. I'm just worried about this shit.
Wow. You're kidding me.
The blame is already being subtly shifted onto Peyton and his friends. EMS crews did everything they could that night, racing Peyton to Parker Adventist Hospital in critical condition. But the damage was overwhelming. The teenager didn't make it. The shooter, 36-year-old Adam Holen, a newly retired officer from Greenwood Village, was also taken in with a single gunshot wound to his right hip. From the moment he spoke to the police, Adam insisted this was self-defense, and the whole incident, he claimed, started over something as ordinary as speeding. According to him, he'd watched a red car, the one carrying Peyton and his friends, tear through his Aurora neighborhood over and over. He said he'd even warned them before to no avail. And soon, that frustration turned into something irreversible. For the investigators, the real question became, who escalated it? And did a retired officer's urge to play enforcer over a traffic complaint turn a teachable moment into a tragedy? After a few days in the hospital, Adam Holen was released, not to freedom, but into an interrogation room. And what unfolds in that room is not just the story of a cold-blooded killer, but of a man whose actions, fueled by a sense of authority and impunity, spun wildly and fatally out of control.
Go ahead and have a seat over there.
And you don't have anything on you, right? Just while we're in police head. You don't have a gun or anything like that?
And that is absolutely it.
Okay.
Feel free to go at me down or anything. We just gotta
ask
no,
the
I
standard,
absolutely
you know,
understand. Absolutely.
From the moment he sits down, Holen's strategy is clear. He's not just a suspect, he's a fellow cop, a retired officer who understands the pressures of the job. He's polite, compliant, and eager to establish rapport. The detective reads him his rights, and Holen waves them away, confident in his ability to control the narrative.
You had a couple of days to have the incident kind of run or sink in and take you able to process things that are going on. So I'd like to get, your story, what happened, of course, that night. So,
all right, I'll start from the top. When I first noticed the red, I think it was a coupe. I think it was 2-door, possibly 4-door. So I'm driving home from my mom's house. My sister just got in from Arizona, went and visited her. As soon as I turned on to Gun Club, going south from Quincy,
okay,
at that new intersection, about 200 yards or so going southbound on Gun Club, it merges to one lane. This car flying down. I see his headlights. I'm like, he's going to cut me off. Sure enough, almost hits me.
Okay.
And as that happens, I was like, I recognized the car. I was like, that's the car that's been speeding through our neighborhood. Night, day, doesn't matter. Kids outside, hockey, rollerblading, whatever, still speeds.
Okay.
I've asked him before, stop speeding through this neighborhood. There's kids. You guys are going to hurt somebody. Okay. Nothing more than that.
Okay.
So after he cuts me off, I see him turning left onto Shenango, which is into my neighborhood. So I'm going home. I do the same thing. As he's pulling into Shenango, screeching tires, still going fast, really fast, high rate of speed. 50 at least.
Okay.
Enough to make the tires screech when he's turning. I turn, I'm going home. I'm like, oh, they must live in here because they're turning in here. The second right turn is the turn onto my street, which is Addison.
Okay.
As I'm turning onto Shenango, I see him turn onto Addison quickly, also hearing their tires screech. They stop, I don't know, it was probably 3 or 4 houses down on the right. They stop right in the middle of the street.
Okay.
Male driver gets out, a female passenger gets out, front passenger side, and they start walking up to the house. And I drove by slowly. I stopped my car on the side, close to their car, and I rolled down my window. I was like, stop speeding through this neighborhood. There's kids. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something like that. And I was a little upset. I was yelling at them also because they're far away from me, but I told them before. Okay.
He begins by painting a picture of the events leading up to that night. Peyton and his friends aren't just teens. In Holen's telling, they become a persistent nuisance, a red car that had been racing through his neighborhood. He claims he had warned them before, presenting himself as a reasonable man pushed to his limits. He's setting the stage, creating a justification for why he, a private citizen, felt compelled to take action.
Who the f*** are you to tell me what to do? And so I was like, once they started talking to me, I realized they were pretty young. There's a good chance that they're teens.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, I'm going to go talk to that parent in that house, in that residence. Maybe they can talk to them before something happens. God forbid they run over a kid or something in the neighborhood. So as I get out of my truck, I come around the back. And as I come around the back, one of the guys that was in the car, they had stepped out. I think there was 2 males in the back. They had stepped out, and they were the ones saying, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Walked around my truck. I immediately saw one of the males had a pistol kind of in the row ready, but he wasn't quite pointing it at me, but kind of in my direction. And I just instantly was like, oh shit, went into cop mode because I'm an ex-cop. I resigned 2 weeks ago just because of the whole atmosphere, and my family just worked better for my family. Okay. So I instantly pulled the gun off of my hip and I presented at him. As soon as I do that, pow, I hear a gunshot and I saw the muzzle flash, and I returned fire on the male that had shot at me.
According to Adam, he didn't want to confront the teens, but to find an adult at the house they stopped at. And as he rounded the back of his truck, he saw Peyton with the pistol in the low ready position. And then Holen did what his training dictated. He returned fire, but he didn't stop there. What he says next is shocking.
I didn't realize I was shot yet, but I emptied my mag, or I came close to it, just because of training.
As Adam had already admitted to officers at the scene, he didn't hesitate before firing multiple rounds. He didn't seem to grasp that a teenager was standing directly in front of him, or that he himself had only been shot once. Yet he unloaded almost an entire magazine at a 17-year-old boy.
And I realized this kid is in serious condition. And so I got in my truck. I live 4 or 5 houses down on the left. Got in my truck, drove home, and the reason I did that is because I have a trauma kit in my hunting gear. And I just went hunting a couple weekends ago, just in case something happens. I have tourniquet, all that stuff. Okay. Opened my garage, couldn't find it, and I was like, I am wasting time. So I sprinted back, left my truck in my driveway, sprinted back, immediately started doing CPR on the kid. wasn't breathing, didn't have a pulse.
Yeah.
There's blood coming out of his mouth, so I skipped the rescue breaths. I was just doing chest compressions. I heard sirens in the near distance, so I knew they were getting closer.
Okay.
I just kept working on him the whole time. I just shot him. I was like, come on, buddy. But at the same time, I'm worried about the house because once the shots were fired, all the kids ran into the house. And I'm worried. Retaliation. Do they have guns? Do they have knives? So still working on this kid, trying to pay attention. A female officer arrives on scene first. Once she got there and I realized it was her, an officer, I stopped compressions. And I immediately put my hands up. I don't remember if it was on my head or what. And I said, I'm an old cop. I'm an ex-cop. I was the shooter. The pistol is in my waist. And I kept my hands up until they removed the pistol. They had me sit down. They checked me. Other officers that were arriving on scene, they said, you all right? You all right? I was like, well, my leg kind of hurts. I sprinted down here. They might have pulled something. I don't know if they look. There's blood coming out. Paramedics take me to the hospital.
What's even more interesting is how he describes the aftermath with a tone of heroic urgency, driving to get a trauma kit, running back, performing CPR. It's a compelling story of a defensive shooting followed by attempted life-saving measures. Adam tries hard to come across as immediately remorseful and cooperative, as if he were more worried about Peyton's condition than his own gunshot wound. But when the detective starts unpacking what Adam was really thinking and doing in those moments, a much darker picture emerges.
And somebody, and you realize there's ring video, it captures the whole thing. The whole thing's on video.
Okay. My wife said that it was up there. I didn't.
It sounded, so at some point somebody says, love you, sweetie.
Yes, sir. That was me. I was like, love you, sweetie. Say goodbye. Like, get out of my neighborhood. Like, let's go type of deal.
And she was coming up to the door and going in the house.
Correct.
What was that kind of comment? Was it just kind of, what was
it? It was just kind of a nonchalant, like, love you, sweetie. Like, cause they were at the door, like, kind of doing like, I don't know, like hug or kiss goodbye or something. And I was just saying that, like, come on, let's go. Get out of my neighborhood type of deal.
Okay.
The tone alone of his comments said plenty about where his head was, irritated, impatient, and very much trying to stay in charge of the moment. And what came next pushed that attitude even further.
When you were in the car, do you remember some of the statements you were making to him, or what do you remember saying to him?
I remember saying stop speeding or racing through my neighborhood. And I don't remember exactly, but it was something, I know I said that, but other things along those lines. Like there's kids that live here or something like that I was yelling at them.
Okay. Do you recall somebody saying something about owning the street or owning this place? Like,
I might have said like, this is my neighborhood.
Okay.
But I don't recall. No.
Okay. Do you remember saying like, I own this neighborhood?
I don't recall. Okay. I don't believe I would have said that, but I don't recall.
All right.
When the detective presses him on it, he brings up a witness who claimed Adam didn't just yell. He declared that he owned all of this neighborhood. That's not just frustration slipping out. That's a man flexing his dominance over some teens, even if he refuses to admit it. After the detective nudges him to be honest about what he said to the teens and Adam's reluctance to do so, the interrogation finally starts peeling back what actually happened that night.
As I was getting out, the other two came out of the back.
And so what made you get out of the car?
I was going to go talk to the parent or the adult at that residence and tell them these kids have been speeding through the neighborhood. They're going to kill a kid. Can you please talk to them or something? Because I figured the parents probably knew them since they were dropping them off. He walked her to the door or whatever.
Okay.
So I was just going to go talk to the parent and say, look, this is pretty serious. Like, they're not just like going a little bit over, like they're speeding through the neighborhood. There's almost a kid that lives in every single one of these houses. So I was pretty much going to inform them to see if they could talk to the kids. Because obviously the kids weren't listening to anybody else. And after they had said, who are you? I was like, well, maybe I can talk to an adult, or maybe they can like help me. I don't know. get him to stop speeding through the neighborhood.
When they said that, they said like, how did that make you feel when they did that to you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I was just like, stupid kids, they're disrespectful, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't feel threatened by any means, and that's why I continued to the house. I was going to walk right by him and just be like, go talk to the parent. And it wasn't until I didn't feel threatened and in fear for my life until I had come almost around to my truck, completely on the backside by the bed. And that's when I saw the pistol, and that's when I immediately feared for my life and relied on my training.
Okay. So let's go to that point. When you said you saw the kid, can you kind of like show me what you saw? Like you were the kid.
Like I was the kid?
Yeah.
Okay. So the kid had his back. So let's say this is the house.
Okay.
And I'm about where you are. So I'm coming around my truck, and the kid was standing. I don't remember if he was standing behind the trunk of the red car, to where like his lower legs weren't showing, or if he was standing behind it to where I could see him all. But when I walked around, I saw the pistol here.
Okay.
And that's when I immediately grabbed my pistol. He fired the shot. I returned fire.
Okay. You can go ahead and sit back.
Yeah.
Do you recall what color that pistol was?
It was dark. It had like a little shine to it from the light. I don't recall. I don't recall exactly what color it was. And I couldn't tell if it was, I don't believe it was a revolver. I believe it was somebody else's pistol.
Okay.
It all happened so fast. And as I was approaching on him, and after I pulled my pistol, I didn't fire. And I don't know why I didn't fire. Maybe because I wasn't in cop mode at the time. I knew he was a kid. I was seriously like, is that seriously like a real gun, a BB gun? And at that point, I was like, it doesn't fit. All these things are going through my head like super quick.
Yeah.
And I didn't fire until I was fired.
So what made you approach that kid?
After or before?
You said when you were approaching him, and you kind of
Sure. So
when you
after
were returning, but what made you go towards that kid instead of going up to the house?
Because I saw the pistol, and I had already had my pistol drawn. So I had taken. I'm not like super quick, but I had taken a few steps towards him to let it be known that I had a gun. I will defend myself, and that's what I was thinking. And then that's when everything happened, all the gunshots.
Okay.
Up to this point, the interrogation feels straightforward, almost as if Adam had simply reacted in self-defense. But then the detective drops a question that shifts the whole tone, one that will crack open Adam's version of events later in the interrogation and sets up everything that's about to come.
So it depends. That night, I had it inside the waistband, and I always tuck my shirt in between the actual pistol itself and my skin, especially when I'm driving, because it rubs on my skin. So that's how I was wearing it at the moment. And so
In a holster, or what kind of?
yeah, it's a inside the waistband holster that's specifically made for that gun. And like I said, I had my shirt tucked in just because of the driving aspect.
What color holster is that?
It's black. It's a black holster.
You know who makes it?
I don't.
So we searched your truck this morning,
Sure.
and there's the holster that's on the passenger seat. So when you got out of the truck, you had to have your gun in your hand because it wasn't in the holster. Is that a fair assessment, or?
No, it was on my hip. It was in the passenger seat. The only thing I could think of is as I was going back to my house to get the med kit, I don't know, because I also had my phone on me, and I don't know where that is. I'm hoping it's in my truck. I also had that on me. I'm not sure how the holster got in there. I do remember, though, when I got back and I said my gun's in my waist, I realized I didn't have my holster. because, I mean, that's when my hands were, and the officers removed it from my waistband.
Okay.
Adam insisted his gun had been holstered in the truck and brought out only from his waistband, but later evidence would prove that claim false. This single point would dismantle the premise of a peaceful approach, because a man seeking a calm conversation doesn't approach with a drawn weapon. For now, the detective steers Adam back to the confrontation that set the chain of events leading to Peyton's death in motion.
Say you could not see anything until you rounded the corner of your truck.
Yeah, until I got to the back, about that halfway point, that's when I could see them.
Okay. And then could you see him with the pistol before you rounded the truck? The end of the truck, or was it right there? Did that happen right there?
When I rounded the driver's side, I couldn't even see them. But as I continued, that's when I saw it.
Okay. And you again said the kid had the pistol.
Similar to low ready. It wasn't pointed at the ground. It was more like this, and so it was in my direction.
Okay.
Adam sticks to his story, insisting Peyton had his pistol at low ready and aimed it at him, trying to frame it as self-defense. But then the detective brings up a very crucial detail.
Well, I'm going to go back. So right before the shooting happened, somebody says the N-word. You remember who says that?
Definitely wasn't me.
Okay.
I mean, the kids were hooting and hollering at me, like, who the fuck are you? That type of stuff. They were just yelling all kinds of stuff, just like, who are you? Like, should yell at us or whatever. And I was like, these kids are being so disrespectful. I'm not going to talk sense into them. Maybe I can see if the parent will help me talk sense into them.
Okay. How was their body language while you were talking?
The driver was kind of, had like a more aggressive type body language, but the other guys back by the vehicle didn't have an aggressive, as far as I remember, didn't have an aggressive stance or anything like that.
And they weren't animated with their hands or anything. They just kind of.
Not that I remember.
Okay. And so somebody says, they throw out the N-word. So that's
Something to the effect like, come on.
let's go. And then they said it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But so you're saying you're not the person who said those words?
No, and I don't even remember hearing that part, but I just knew they were yelling and saying all kinds of stuff.
Okay. So
I wouldn't even say yelling. They were just, it was loud. They weren't like
banter or?
Yeah, it was more of like a bantering. Yeah, I didn't feel threatened at any point at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I was just gonna go talk to them. I saw the mom. And
His version of being the calm, reasonable adult is starting to crumble, especially since he claims the driver, a black teen and one of Peyton's friends, was the only one acting aggressively toward him. But that's just one thread the detectives are following. They still have a long way to go before Adam will admit anything, so they start by focusing on the aftermath.
So after the shooting happens, right? What do you do next?
I don't remember if I approached further or I just instantly thought, I knew at what I had done. I knew I had put a lot of rounds into him. And so that's when I was like, I need to save this kid. And so I got back in my truck quickly, drove to my house, attempted to find my trauma kit, my med bag.
Okay. What did you do with your gun? Was that when you put it in your waistband?
I don't remember. That must have been when I put it in my waistband, and I'm not.
Then Adam brings up something he knows could help his case.
You get out of the car. Your intent is to go talk to the parents. Right then, when you round the corner, you see him with a gun, and then you start going towards the gun.
After my pistol was drawn. Yes, sir.
Correct. So you approach him. He shoots. You shoot back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did you feel when you saw that the kid with the gun pointing, like this? How were you feeling at that point?
Well, instantly I was like, what the fuck? Why does this kid have a gun? And then I was like, he's going to kill me with this. He's going to kill me. And I was thinking, like, after all the shootings that happened at the high schools and stuff with teenagers, I was like, this kid is going to kill me. And so I was very threatened for my life.
Okay.
He seems aware that by insisting he felt threatened by the teenage boy, he could strengthen his self-defense claim. But if Adam thinks that this will help his case, he's in for a shock. The detective's next question completely undercuts his claim that he only wanted a peaceful conversation with the parents, not a violent confrontation.
And then with regards to other training, have you been trained on citizen contacts and how to deal with citizens and de-escalation?
Absolutely.
And things like that. So what kind of training have you gotten with that?
Hundreds of hours. I mean, every single month we would have pistol or firearms training. Sometimes it was pistol, sometimes it was rifle, sometimes it was both. And we would always have legal updates, and we always had de-escalation training. I'm CIT certified. I've been through that class. Lots of training on de-escalation. And that's, as a police officer, everybody I talk to on the street that's even slightly heated or upset, you have to de-escalate it, because one, you don't want it to escalate further, and two, you can't really talk to them until things are calm.
Right.
Lots of training on de-escalation.
If Adam had all that training in de-escalation and knew the value of keeping situations calm, why did he let his instincts take over with Peyton? What was going through his mind that overrode everything he'd supposedly learned?
It's hard to say in hindsight, but, was there any attempts made to kind of de-escalate this kind of situation with these kids, or?
I don't remember. I know every time, based on my training, and my training absolutely took over. It was just muscle memory. I didn't think about it. I just did it. At the range, when we go, every time I pull my pistol, I either say, please drop your weapon, or drop your weapon, or something of that nature.
Okay.
I don't remember if I said it, because it happens all the time, but based on my muscle memory and what I did, I more than likely said, I can't recall if I said it or not.
Okay.
And I knew at that point, once I saw that pistol, that there was no verbal de-escalation that was about to happen. Once there's a firearm present, if there was a knife, sure, maybe. Completely different story. I didn't have time to de-escalate.
Okay.
I was in fear for my life at that second, and yeah, I knew I didn't have time.
For a moment, it seems Adam has dodged the question, blaming Peyton for pointing a pistol at him for why he didn't de-escalate. But the detective skillfully circles back, forcing him to confront the real issue of escalation. And in that moment, he asks Holen the most damning question of all.
How come you just didn't drive home?
Well, after he pointed the gun at me? Or before?
During the whole, the whole thing, you could have just drove home.
I could have, yes. I want to talk to them as many times as I can to stop speeding in the neighborhood, and maybe they would get it through their heads. I don't know. I didn't drive home because I was just going to say something to them, slow down, roll down my window, or roll back up my window, drive home or something.
Yeah.
I thought in my head, if I do that, maybe they'll come by my house, break a window, egg my house, something like that. And so I was like, I'm going to go talk to this parent. After they had said, who are you? And I was like, I'm not getting through to them. Maybe their parent will help.
Okay.
But I didn't drive home. One, because I wanted to stop. I want them to stop speeding through the neighborhood. And two, I didn't want them to know where I live, because I live right down the street.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay. All right. So your main intent was to go talk to the parent, you didn't intend to escalate with these kids. You wanted to go talk to the parent.
Absolutely. Well, and there was 3 males. I mean, I know the cop, honestly, I can hold my own, but there's 3 of them. And so my plan was to walk right past them, not say anything, go talk to the parent, because obviously wasn't getting through to them with just that little time I had to talk to them while I was still in my truck.
Okay.
And I was just going to go right past
Okay.
Adam is forced to admit it. He could have just gone home. Every off-ramp was there. Drive away. Call the police. Avoid the confrontation entirely. But he didn't. He chose to follow, approach, and confront. That choice alone undermines any claim of pure self-defense.
One of the sergeants said that you told him that the guys were muscling up to you and you thought you were going to get beat up. Remember that statement?
Yeah, so I don't remember that statement, but when I had said, slow down, what do you, and after that, the male who was the passenger, or I'm sorry, the driver who had dropped the passenger off at her house and locked her up, was coming at me doing that. The other two males were not. And I thought at that point, I thought, don't say anything. You know, I don't want to start a fight or anything. Just go and talk to their parent.
Okay. The male that did that, which male was that, dude?
I believe it was the driver.
Was he white, black?
I think he was black.
Okay.
He had I don't remember if he had a hood on. I'm pretty sure he was a black male.
Okay. Do you remember the color hood he had on?
Dark clothes. I think he had like a black sweatshirt maybe of some sort, a black coat. I don't remember exactly. I know, pretty sure it was dark colored.
And then, so you saw him, you say he kind of did this when he was coming off the porch to the car?
Yeah.
Did he continue to do that, or?
I don't remember. Because at that point, that's when I was like, I'm going to go talk to the parent. And so I had gotten out of my truck. So I don't know if he continued to do that. When I rounded the corner, I don't know if he was still doing it. I just saw that pistol and just reacted.
Okay.
So I have no idea if he continued.
Okay. Now, and you pulled that firearm because? Right.
Because I had seen his firearm, his pistol.
Okay. And then you seeing that pistol caused you to advance on him.
Right. I just went in, once I saw that pistol, like I said, I didn't think. It was just muscle memory, and I just did it.
Okay.
How do you normally carry your pistol? Like in what condition?
What do you mean? Like with the holster?
Like you carry a magazine in it with ammunition?
Yeah.
Chamber?
Yeah, I carry one in the chamber. I load up my full mag, so my shield that I was carrying that night, it's 10+1.
Okay.
Right, 10 in the mag, 1 in the chamber.
Okay.
And that's how I always carry. I also have another magazine that I keep in my truck, just in case. You never know.
Over half an hour into the interrogation, the detectives focus on Adam's gun. His claims seem important, though he has no idea the evidence disproving his story about keeping the gun in the truck will surface just 20 minutes later.
At any point, when you were in the truck, did you point your handgun at any of these kids?
When I was in my truck? No, absolutely not.
Okay. Was it at any point when you were in the truck, did you take your gun and rack the slide?
No, because I always carry one in the chamber. There's no need to rack my slide.
Okay.
My vehicle, if I would have done that and I carry one in the chamber, there would be a loose 9mm Matty self-defense round somewhere in my vehicle in the passenger seat or something.
Yeah. Okay. We didn't find it. So, all right.
Next, when the detectives ask about his attempts to help Peyton, Adam's response is unsettling for someone who had just fired multiple shots at the teenager.
How long do you recall doing CPR on the kid?
I mean, it felt like forever, right? But realistically, 35 minutes or so? I don't know.
Okay.
It's just, I wasn't thinking about time, obviously. I'm thinking about trying to get a pulse back on this kid. That's probably just the cop in me. I mean, you guys as well. You're trying to hurt somebody. I didn't take it personal. I didn't take anything personal as a cop, and I knew that this kid needed help. Whether he had shot me or not, I knew that I needed to try to help this kid, try to save him. I knew he was dying.
Okay.
I knew he was dying, and that's why I tried to go up and get my trauma kit, because I figured the stuff I have in that, I'd possibly pack a wound. I have the chest seals. I have everything in this trauma kit. And that's why I went up and got it, because I knew that he was in very bad condition.
Yes. Did he make
Adam repeatedly pins the blame on Peyton, calling him the shooter, and emphasizes that he was trying to save him because of the cop in him. In fact, he almost appears detached from the fact that he shot a teenager multiple times, portraying himself more as a victim than the teen.
Did he make any statements, or did he?
The shooter?
Yeah. When you were attending to him, did he say anything, or was he even conscious?
He was not conscious, not breathing, did not have a pulse.
Okay.
He didn't say. Yeah, at that moment, unfortunately, that's when I knew he was deceased.
Okay.
Or had a very slim chance at survival.
The interrogation shifts back to the shooting. The detective presses Adam on how many rounds he fired, and the answer is chilling.
And I know it happened so fast, but how many rounds do you recall you shooting?
If I didn't empty my magazine, it was pretty close to it. I know more than 6, possibly all 11. I don't recall.
Holen admits he fired rapidly, likely 6 to 11 shots, while Peyton fired only once. It's chilling to think all of this started over a speeding incident, and that Peyton died so violently.
I've actually thought about this, like, how many shots? And I was like, I had to have come pretty close to emptying my magazine. That's all I know. Okay.
And then, the detective asks a haunting question.
Why so many shots?
So many shots. With my training that I've had, I am trained to eliminate the threat.
Adam's justification is appalling. The threat had to be eliminated. In his mind, the 17-year-old was a target that demanded neutralization.
Of training videos where people have been shot and they keep coming at you. I've seen multiple training videos and heard multiple stories where people, get shot 8 times and they're still coming at you. I know in training, we have gone through different trainings to where if I had to simulate that I get shot with a sim round or whatever, I fall and I still return fire until the threat is gone.
Okay.
I didn't know that the threat was gone. He was falling as I was shooting. I noticed that. I just continued. I wasn't thinking about it. It's just the training that I've had that until the threat was eliminated. And I guess that's when I stopped. I don't recall exactly when I stopped.
Did you perceive how many times he fired?
Pretty sure he only fired once. Once I heard that shot, I just grabbed my pistol and returned fire, and I don't think he got another shot off. He could have. I'm not sure. If he did, he missed me. God, I could have gone into the house. There's kids that live right across the street. I believe he only took one shot.
Okay. Or do you mind if I look at your statement here?
Not at all.
It's here that the gap between a civilian's idea of self-defense and a trained officer's eliminate the threat mindset becomes terrifyingly clear. The detectives then ask whether he tried to handle the speeding issue through proper legal channels before it escalated into tragedy.
With the complaints about speeding and things with that nature, have you made any reports to the police about it, or made any complaints to the Aurora, what's that? Access Aurora, or have you made any
online reporting anything?
I haven't. There was a bunch of criminal mischief that was going on in my neighborhood, and my neighbors came to me, and because they knew I was a cop, and they're like, "Is there any way you can try to get an extra patrol or something?" And I asked that, and we never got it. On the 4th of July, actually, one of my cop friends that works for Hugo County Marshal, he was at my house, and he almost got in an altercation with them because we were playing cornhole, and they kept flying by more than once. And
the same girl, the same house,
same vehicle.
car,
same vehicle.
Okay.
4th of July this year too, right?
The 4th of July this year. And he said, "Does this happen all the time?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Should I report it?" I was like, "The last time I asked for an extra patrol, I know they're busy. I mean, I know you guys have your hands full." And I was like, "The last time, I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth requesting. I don't know." I never did, though.
Okay.
To answer your question.
Do you remember on that 4th of July incident who was driving that red car?
I don't know if it was exactly him.
Did you estimate the amount of times you've seen them speed through the neighborhood?
5 or 6.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. I know it's less than 10, but they ride around a handful of times.
Okay.
And that's why I figured they don't live there. They're probably just, dropping her off and going somewhere.
Instead of pursuing the speeding teens through proper channels, Adam gave up and decided to handle it himself. Had he insisted on something like a patrol car in the neighborhood to resolve this matter, perhaps this tragedy could have been avoided. After gathering all these details from Adam, the detectives decide it's time to present the evidence, and the strongest piece they bring completely contradicts his claim about keeping his gun holstered in the truck from 20 minutes earlier.
So one of the kids says that you pointed a gun at him while you were in the cab. So, and that's what this is, this is kind of like the crux of this whole case. So,
Absolutely.
I really want to hash what happened in that cab when you were talking to him, through the window.
Sure. I don't remember if my light was on or off. But I rolled down the window and I yelled, "Stop speeding through our neighborhood."
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything in the cab. I probably had one hand on the steering wheel because that's how I drive.
Okay.
Left hand on the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on getting out. I thought they would just, say something like, blah, 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 and then go home. But they were like, we'll do what we want. And so that's when I decided to go up and speak with an adult.
Okay. And earlier you said you keep your gun on your right hip?
Yeah, I do.
And that night, how did you have it carried? Concealed, open carry?
It's inside the waistbands, but it's open carry because I tuck my shirt in, and so the pistol's fully visible.
Okay. And in your truck?
Other than the very butt of it. The muzzle.
Okay. Obviously, because it would be in the holster.
Correct.
So, inside your truck, can you describe your truck? Is it a bucket seats?
Yeah, so I have 2 bucket seats, and then in the middle I have a center console that doesn't raise up into a seat. It's just a set center console right there.
Okay. Do you know how tall? Is it is it a tall center console?
It's raised. I would say probably similar to this, just enough for like an armrest.
Okay.
Or to where I can lean on it. It's not high, I guess average, just enough to put my arm on there.
Okay. So definitely not a straight seat. So
correct.
If somebody looking from this side, they'd see the center console.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the seat sits lower than the center console. Yes, sir.
Okay. So at any point in time when you're sitting in the cab, did you ever pull your gun out?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And understand this is all on video, right?
Correct. There's no reason for me to pull it in the cab.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at any point in time, did you rack? We already covered this, but did you rack the handgun in your truck?
No. Every time I put it in my holster, in the morning or whenever I put it on, I always do the check, make sure it's there. I always have it on the side. Always.
Okay.
It's just habit being an officer. I don't want to have a situation like this.
Have you ever carried a gun without a round in the chamber? Would that be unusual for you?
Absolutely. Mostly just the way I'm trained. So when I was a cop, I carry one, and I don't want to use that extra half second to have to rack it and present it. I just want to pull it and have it ready. So that half second can mean life or death, and cut that half second out of there.
They reveal that a witness, one of Peyton's friends, saw Adam draw his weapon while still seated in his truck. This directly contradicts his earlier account and suggests the escalation started well before he stepped out.
I guess just to have a mental picture, right? One, if you wouldn't mind, could you actually demonstrate from the time you pull up in your truck to getting out of the car exactly what that looked like? I know you can't really
like while I was in my truck.
So you kind of started. Say you had your left hand on the steering wheel.
Sure.
You have a verbal exchange.
Sure.
With the people outside. What was your other hand doing?
I think I was leaning on my center console. I don't recall, but that's usually how we drive, and I would imagine that's where my other hand would be.
As things start kind of like escalating, you said the kids are telling you, like, you can't fucking tell us what to do, something like that.
Right.
At any point, out of reflex, habit, training, I don't want to put words in your mouth, did you index your firearm with your hand, just rest it there? Is that a possibility?
No, because I didn't feel any threat at that point.
Okay. And then just curious, so you're not a police officer anymore, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
I am post certified. I'm not duly sworn with any department, though.
Okay.
At the moment.
Might seem like a silly question. Is why did you have a handgun on you that particular night?
I always carry it.
Okay.
Ever since my resignation, I went directly to Arapahoe County Sheriff's, applied for my concealed. I'd rather have it than not need
So
it.
you have a concealed carry?
I do not. And that's why I was wearing it with my shirt tucked in, because I do not have a concealed carry.
Okay. So also, so it was exposed, so somebody could actually see, if you were walking around, somebody would see that you had a handgun.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm always checking when I'm at Walmart or something that, I don't want, when I was a cop, I didn't ever want anybody to see it. So I was always checking because when my shirt is up, it is visible. Absolutely.
Is it possible when you were having an interaction with any of these people that they could see into your car, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, they could see it in my car. My truck sits high. I have a lift on it and I have the oversized tires. I mean, it's not like a giant truck, but it is a bigger truck and sits high. So I was looking down at them.
Do you think that it's
On
possible?
level, I guess, when they were up on the walkway of
Okay.
the house.
Is it possible that any of those people would have been able to see that gun inside of the car, even though it's just sitting on your hip?
Not unless they came directly up to the window, and even that, the center console sits high, and I have my seatbelt. I mean, there's like that much room in between my side hip and the center console. I frequently scratch my gun. Look at my truck, there's some scratches right here on the side. Yeah, there's no way that they could have seen it. Even the only way they could have seen it is if they came up to my vehicle, stepped on the side step, and looked into my truck. That would be the only way that they could see that firearm on my hip.
And did that ever happen? Okay.
The closest, as far as I recall, the closest they got was the rear end of that red vehicle.
Yeah. And the video confirms that.
Okay. Yeah, and they stayed there, and they didn't advance on me. I didn't feel threatened at all. I didn't feel any threat whatsoever until I rounded the back of my truck and saw his firearm. And he didn't pull it out of anything. He already had it in his hand.
Okay.
And I felt that might be why I got shot first, because he just did something like this where I have to reach, pull it up. I don't know. I just keep trying to run it through my head, and it just happens so fast.
Do you remember any statements? I know we kind of already asked it, but is there anything in your head that stands out?
Adam continued to insist his gun stayed holstered, and the interrogation ended here. But the witness report told a very different story. An armed, angry man, gun already in hand, turning a verbal dispute into a fatal shooting. On top of that, Ring camera footage showed him exiting his truck and approaching the passenger side of the car, raising his gun first. Peyton responded by raising his own firearm and firing a single shot, after which Adam fired multiple rounds in return. Investigators concluded that Adam was the aggressor and noted he could have left the scene at any point before the shooting. Based on this, police charged him with second-degree murder, felony menacing, and prohibited use of a weapon. On July 11, 2024, a jury found him guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter rather than second-degree murder. He was acquitted of felony menacing and sentenced to 2 years in prison, followed by 3 years of mandatory parole. Was this a fair sentence? What do you think? If you enjoyed our production and how we explained this case, please consider subscribing, as it helps us out a ton. I'll see you next time.